Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I'll show you a recap of a 2015 action thriller titled The Transporter Refueled. As always, spoiler alert, watch out, and take care. The movie opens with a Russian kingpin named Karasov forcibly taking over a street on the French Riviera. He's ready for business and immediately assigns the street to his commercial workers. Among them is a woman named Anna, who seems uncomfortable with the situation. However, Karasov approaches her, asks her to smile, and enjoy the work, and then leaves with his colleagues. We then fast forward 15 years and meet a beautiful, mature Anna, calmly seated by herself in a hotel as if waiting for someone. Suddenly, a well-dressed man appears and joins her, introducing himself as the transporter. Surprisingly, he doesn't want to know her name, as that's part of his work rules. His name is Frank, and he's there to sign a deal with her, as she had reached out to him earlier over the phone. He's a well-decorated driver who transports anything, as long as he doesn't know what it is. The deal is set to roll in 3 hours, prompting him to leave for preparations. After he leaves, she immediately makes a call and asks the woman on the other end to proceed with their plan. We meet Frank's father on his way home after buying some wine for dinner with his son. However, Frank calls him and says that he might skip dinner to take care of business instead. One of Anna's girls takes the opportunity to charm him and quickly immobilizes him, taking him away. 3 hours later, Frank shows up at the bank ready for the pickup. As he waits for Anna and her packages, he sweeps his license plates while taking note of the time. At exactly 5 p.m., a blonde woman steps out of the bank and walks with elegance towards Frank's car. The woman is Anna, who was dressed up for the occasion. She calmly sets herself inside the car, and Frank is seemingly concerned about her package, which hasn't arrived yet. A few seconds later, 2 other blonde women, dressed just like Anna, step out of the bank and head straight for the car, catching Frank by surprise. This goes against his rules of not knowing the contents of his package. Frank is ready to terminate the deal, but Anna shows him a video of his dad being held at gunpoint, which instantly changes his mind. Meanwhile, the bizarre situation has raised the police officer's eyebrows, and one of them heads over to check it out. Frank is left with no option but to give in to these smart ladies and instantly drives off. The police are on Frank's heels as they chase him throughout the city. He employs his experience and expertise to outrun the cops at top speed with several maneuvers. A couple enjoying their Valentine's Day almost gets run over by the speeding cars. Frank's Audi doesn't fail him though, and they finally manage to outrun the cops and switch their car. Frank then blows up the old one to erase any evidence as they set out for home. He drives them home to their residence and finally reunites with his dad. He is handed his pending payment and is about ready to leave. But Anna proposes a new deal, which Frank obviously declines because of their mind games. He is struck by a second shock when a briefcase containing some dangerous drugs is opened. He is told that his dad's drink was spiked with it and will kill him in 12 hours, long before any lab can analyze and identify the substance. As Anna is occupied closing the deal with Frank, his dad is occupied chatting with the other women. Men will be men as he's looking to leave in style if things go wrong. Frank is left with no choice but to comply in order to save his dad. The scene then switches to Karasov, who has had an easy 15 years with his buddies. However, he is currently disturbed by the unusual events that have transpired in recent days. He has lost an accountant due to the mysterious ladies. The trio robbed the accountant's bank security box, which he witnessed through the bank's cameras. He also catches a glimpse of their Getaway car, whom he worked with several years ago. This provides him with a starting point to track down the cunning trio, as he knows Frank personally. In the following scene, Frank begins working with Anna as per their agreement. Her next task is to steal from Karasov's unsuspecting colleagues. Her first target is Leo, who owns a large club in town. The plan unfolds with Frank posing as a doctor and Anna as a patient. The duo manages to acquire a cylinder of Neuroflurex, an inhaled anesthetic, by pretending to be a doctor. Meanwhile, one of Anna's ladies sets out to take down Yuri, who is on his private jet. Her only point of entry is through Yuri's pilot, and she sets out to seduce him. With her beauty, she manages to captivate the pilot in just a few minutes, and then takes him hostage, knowing that Yuri will soon be in contact. Yuri, who has been relaxing on his jet, receives a call from Karasov, who informs him of something suspicious and urges him to be cautious. Yuri decides to fly away from the chaos and immediately calls for his pilot. The call goes through, but the pilot is under the control of Anna's team and lies, claiming he is sick and recommending another captain for the flight. The proposed captain is none other than Frank's dad. accompanied by one of Anna's friends as a hostess. Yuri doesn't suspect anything as his captain has already talked to him about the situation. As the captain and co-pilot go to prepare the plane, Yuri is ready for a good time with the charming hostess and sends his guards away to give himself some privacy. She spikes his drink and he immediately falls asleep. She quickly uses a biometric device to access his system and transfer funds to their account. She then heads to the cockpit to inform Frank's dad that they are finished. Meanwhile, Frank and his team make their way into Leo's club. The plan is to switch the gas in the fog machine with anesthetic. Frank takes care of this, and the fog machine blows it out, rendering everybody unconscious. Anna and her girls enter the club wearing gas masks and head straight for Leo's office. They use a biometric device to access his account and transfer the funds to their own. Then they set out for the airport to pick up the rest of the crew. The heists were planned to be executed simultaneously to leave no room for discovery. On the plane, Frank's dad prepares to depart and knocks out the co-pilot to avoid raising alarm. The duo then move to the emergency exit as part of their plan. However, the unconscious co-pilot falls on the throttle lever, causing the airplane to accelerate. Their plan hits a wall since they can't alight from the plane since it's moving too fast. Yuri's guard senses this sudden acceleration and goes to investigate. Rather than going to the cockpit to try and stop it, he goes after Frank's dad. Anna's friend is worried that they are trapped, but Frank's dad isn't afraid because he knows his son will get him. He makes a call and informs Frank of his location. Frank, who was driving outside the airport waiting for his dad, quickly changes his course and heads for the plane. Security also sets out in pursuit. Frank then makes a bold move by speeding toward the plane at full speed. As he approaches, he opens the sunroof of his car and quickly reaches them. Sadly, Yuri's guard arrives just in time and shoots the lady, but they still manage to escape the plane. Frank quickly stops the car, making a U-turn and speeds away. Fortunately, Yuri regains consciousness and heads to the cockpit, bringing the plane to a halt with the instructions from the control tower. After a long chase by security, they successfully navigate through the airport and return home. Anna and her team had agreed not to take anyone to the hospital to retain their anonymity, but Frank's dad, with his medical skills, stabilizes her. As they tend to her, Frank asks for the antidote as per their agreement, but is shocked when Anna reveals that there isn't any. He becomes angry until Anna reveals that there was never any poisoning, and they only fooled him with colored water. The day ends well, with Frank's dad winning the lottery and Frank receiving a visit from Anna. During their conversation in bed, Anna explains how she was sold to Karasov by her mother due to poverty and was forced into commercial work at the age of 12. Since then, she sought revenge. Later, Frank picks up his dad to leave, but wishes he could have stayed longer. Barely has he gone far after dropping off his dad when he receives a call from him. Upon answering it, it turns out to be Karasov, whom he worked with years ago. Karasov threatens to eliminate his dad if he fails to show up with the trio on his yacht. Frank is left with no options but to reach out to Anna for help. The team votes unanimously to help him retrieve his dad, while also carrying out the final stage of their mission. As they all set out to meet Karasov on his yacht, they convey a message to Leo and Yuri that Karasov has set up a meeting. Karasov is surprised to see them show up unannounced, as it reflects poorly on him and makes it seem as though he is dealing with those who robbed them. Anna then claims that Karasov asked her to steal from them, which incites anger in Karasov as it is a lie. Leo and Yuri ask him to prove that he didn't, the only way being to check his bank balance. As he retrieves his tablet to do so, the fourth member of Anna's group is seen swimming towards the yacht in scuba diving gear. She infiltrates the server room and prepares to mirror Karasov's password. When he logs in, it only takes a few seconds for her to transfer the stolen cash to his account. Leo can't believe it, and a shootout ensues which takes out many, including Leo and Yuri. Sadly, Anna's girls are also caught up in the crossfire. Karasov grabs Anna and leads her to the boat before speeding away from the shore. Frank is determined to save her and sets off in pursuit on a jet ski. Back on the yacht, Karasov's fiancé notices a login from the server room and goes to investigate. She finds the last member of Anna's team there and shoots her while she tries to log in. The lady uses what is left of her strength and finishes her off using a rope nearby, but she doesn't make it out alive. Frank's dad is deeply saddened by this after getting to her. Offshore, Frank gets a hold of Karasov and the duo engages in a vigorous fight. The fight ends when Anna finally eliminates Karasov from a distance. Her burden finally comes to an end, although she is left drained by it. Frank finally reunites with his dad, and it's dinner as usual. 3 months later, Anna sits in a lavish motel while wiring money to the families of her deceased friend. She also sends $10 million each to Frank and his dad. The movie ends with Anna starting her new life in style. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for even more videos just like this. And if you have a movie you'd like us to recap, let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time. Take care.